Hey y'all, it's John. I know it's been a couple weeks since my last video. There's two things that I came across the past couple weeks that have really blown my mind. One is my daughter got sick, my youngest, she's 3. And sick to where she was, sorry, this might be gross, throwing up. And so it was, you just always feel so bad for your kid, for your daughter, because you can't control it, you can't stop it. I tried to help her, and this is where my lesson came in. I tried to help her by giving her this. You see how big this is? This is not very big. It's like as big as my head, man, a little smaller. And so I started to give her this, and then I was like, is she really gonna get it in there? Is she really gonna go like this? And so I was like, well, maybe I'll just do a little bit bigger. So I got a bigger one. This one's slightly bigger. And so I gave it to her, thinking that she would get it in here. And thinking is not necessarily always the best thing. When it came down to it, she missed it. And I found myself saying, Maylee, like, come on, why couldn't you get it? Just hold the bowl up here. And I started to realize, you know what? Sometimes I do that with people when it comes to faith. When it comes to believing in Jesus, when it comes to living a life that's pleasing to Him, when it comes to their marriage, when it comes to not lying, when it comes to trusting and not always having it always be about them, and you want to push them to do what's best, and sometimes you get frustrated when you try to encourage someone in their walk of life with God, and when they fail, when they miss the mark, when they don't make it into the bowl, sometimes we get upset. And you know what? I've learned and still am learning that that's how I was. I didn't always make it in the bowl, and I always don't make it in the bowl still today. And we shouldn't get upset at each other, but we should be there. And so my mind changed about my daughter when she was sitting there. I'm like, oh man, okay, let me take care of her rather than get upset at her. Let me help her and think of what could be better. And so my next thought was, man, let's just put her in the bathtub. She'll make it in there. Just being mindful of when we are trying to encourage people in Jesus, some people aren't always where you want them to be. And that's okay, because that's who you are. I'm sure there's somebody looking at you, someone's looking at me of saying, John, I expect more of you. And to know that God is full of grace and full of love. And we should extend that grace and love to others. My second thing that I learned the past couple weeks is this. Have you ever seen this clip?
Whose idea was this?
Now, that is my favorite clip because I just remember busting up laughing at the guy laughing behind the camera.
What is funny?
His laugh is just contagious. And if you've never seen that full clip, you need to check it out on YouTube. And so this is what we came across a couple weeks ago. Yes, that is my girls. And I never thought it would actually happen. I thought in that video, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. And those kids were paint everywhere. And my daughters were the same. And I realized in a moment of non-patience that I needed patience. Patience is never always easy. And there's times where it's easier for us in certain moments, but then there's times where for whatever reasons, whether we're tired, whatever excuse or reason we want to give, we become impatient. And when we become impatient, what it does is it creates a little bit more angst in our kids. And so that's what I learned that God does with me is He looks at me and never gets impatient. I love that. I strive to be less impatient. Life is always full of its trials and tribulations. It's learning corners. And so taking in those moments and actually taking it in and learning, understanding and growing. And so I just want to encourage you guys with those things. Just remember, if you like this channel, please press the like button and subscribe to it. I would love to answer any questions that you may have in the future, whether it be from past videos or from this video, in the comments below. And I will talk to you later. Peace.